interesting. I hadn't really thought about it. You know, we meet special people in our lives.
Mhm.
He was a father figure in certain ways. We certainly spoke about the ladies. And I know he was very proud of his children, his daughters, and everybody. He became a grandfather while I was there, you know, it was amazing.
Mhm.
But the work will speak. The work will speak to the generations about what he was inspired by.
Did you talk about his?
I have him on film talking about Hemingway. And
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That's sexy. Come on.
Say that.
That's a whole different, you know, a whole different. But definitely, I think of, you know, I think of him in those terms. I want to see him place. You know, he did that Family of Man, hot jazz photo. That's iconic. But that should have just been his stepping stone for other things. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah, I worked with him during the '90s.
Here, let me turn it on you. You gave him the show.
Yeah, I worked with him once I found out that he was kind of like sliding out of the digital world in terms of being a historian. So I needed to give more emphasis to Mr. Bell. In order to give more emphasis to Mr. Bell, I decided, well, the only way to do that is to lean on his more artistic art forms in terms of the aesthetics that he created and the different people that followed behind him, and kind of like give some sort of legacy in terms of he was the first one to actually working in the white sector, to be very honest with you, and being very successful at it on his own. And the other part about it is he was always very, very, let's say, visually talented, as well as intellectually well read. So the people I found that he was hanging out with was, you know, like not just anybody, but real people. So that says essentially who he was at that point in time of his life and career. Then as he grew a little bit older, he became a little bit more reclusive, and I realized something had to be done. So a lot of interest began to grow up around him, but somehow or another, he never quite really made it into the historical circles in terms of people, you know, first name only kind of basis. I see other people getting all these, well, you name it, kind of things without really, you know, paying any kind of tribute to one of the earlier masters in terms of that's where most black photographers come from, and then the overall aesthetics of photography, he kind of like helped it all also.
Well, I remember him committed to the image show at Brooklyn Museum. That was powerful. That was important. That put him along the, you know.
And to hear that he has passed away, it's just a matter of time from a long, long time ago. And being a trooper like he was, you know, he stayed the course.
Hell, he still went to the gym, as far as I know. He was always powerful.
And if he couldn't walk, he would ride his bicycle.
With no helmet.
I met him on the corner of 8th Street and Broadway one evening, and he didn't recognize me naturally. I had to be in the gallery for him to recognize me.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked up to him and stood in front of his bicycle. He wanted to fight.
That was Hugh, the fighting spirit of Hugh Bell.
He was still angry. He couldn't get over being angry at me for doing that. So I said, oh well. Some people, you know, don't have that extraordinary sense of humor to realize something. They were just punked, you know. So that's about my story from Mr. Bell. Then he wound up getting a book published by this person named Valentine, and document it that way. And it got even worse, and the story came by that Valentine put him up in an apartment out there in Brooklyn. And his daughter was basically taking over all his businesses. So I realized, yeah, it was just, you know, just a matter of time. So everything seems to happen at the same time. So before is better, afterwards in life it's very sorrowful. So that's it.
The work lives on forever. That's all we have at the end of it, right?
Thank you, sir.
Peace.
Nice to come by and give me the message. Thank you very much.